Here.
What do you mean? Nobody here.
Three. I'm looking at two guys. I'm looking at two guys over here.
We got nothing too controversial on the agenda, evidently. With me.
So, did you guys ask Tim about his input about parking up there at the airport?
Yeah. I think Tim was asked. Yes. That's the question I have for sure.
Yeah.
If Tim says, okay, I'm okay, but.
I don't have much space for clearance, lateral clearance.
Yeah, I guess. What the plane wants. Where's that?
No, but she's gonna be Skyping, so if you need to ask her a question,
Do we want to put the microphone on?
you're gonna call her right
You
now.
really think we need them?
I personally don't think so.
Okay, that's fine.
I personally don't think so.
I'm
But I'm
just-
only one vote.
I'm just asking,
When you're such a small
I
problem.
know, but when we need, if, the nice about it is we do get a record of that. Because this only has a small little built-in microphone.
Oh, okay.
But the speaker is here. I don't know how well it picks it up anyway.
I agree.
I don't think we need it for this meeting.
Okay.
Just talk loud.
I'll try to speak up.
Yell.
Okay, I will.
Just make it for the following month at, second, third Tuesday. Yeah. I'll let Steve work on it. We need to add him to the distribution list on the emails.
How you doing there, partner?
He'll text me or call me and say, hey, it's our meeting.
You're doing the worst. The worst.
I'll text him.
Good.
Hi, Margaret.
Hello.
Hey, RJ.
Mr. Casino.
Easy on this one.
Question on this check for the postmaster.
I thought he liked you.
Department,
I do.
$72. Is this for stamps?
I call him Mr. Adams.
Okay, I'm gonna write that out.
I always say I was in for my grandfather. You said.
Exactly. Nobody called Harold Mr. Elders, did they? I don't think so.
Too many people.
I think I snapped in the office and read some of this. It's well written. Really, I was just putting there to shift for the information on Monday. And then we'll write it down in the next meeting. But yeah, I think that's.
She's the boss of me.
Did anybody have a question?
This is the first step.
Ask Rebecca, call the-
To see if we can get things back to normal, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm just curious.
Okay. Everybody's here.
I'm gonna be out of here in March too.
So you don't hear you?
I
Oh,
got some appointments down south I gotta take care of.
we talked about,
There's always
yeah, can you hear
on
me?
that date, it's like the week of
Okay,
the
we're
18th.
talking about the CD. And so, Gordy, discovered that they're going to be a really complicated about
Were you really?
Yeah, I can do it. That week, from the 18th to the 20th, I had. Sure, 6, 7 nights.
Oh.
I do have a question. Hey, Mary Beth. Do you know how the easiest way to get a hold of Roger, the lighthouse guy? Okay.
I know, I'll pull this information to you.
Okay, Roger volunteered to help me hook up the thing, so we're good. Thank you. Yeah, I emailed him at his lighthouse and he gets back to me that way. I just thought there was a more formal ceremony. Well, in case you didn't understand what an expressman is, right? Thank you very much. I've never tried to call him, but you probably wouldn't. He may not. Well, if I have trouble.
Greg, you ready, Paul? Yes, it is. 7:01 now. Are you ready? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we're gonna call the meeting to order. Everybody on the board is here. Mary Beth is here on the computer. And we're gonna stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Minutes of the previous board meeting, actually got two sets of. We need to approve the caucus.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for the caucus.
Second?
Second,
2 seconds. We'll go with Paul. Paul second. A motion is made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say aye. There's no opposed.
And I will make a motion to approve the January
Nice.
board minutes.
I thought you were struggling for the date.
Are you second?
I'll second that.
You'll second.
Jesse seconded that one. So the motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say aye. No opposed. Clerk's report.
Mary Beth is on Skype, but she wanted to mention that the election is coming up in the first Tuesday in April, which is the Tuesday after Easter, and absentee ballots will probably be available the end of February or the beginning of March. And so you can contact Mary Beth by email and she will get that off to you. Anything else?
No, everything else was not a quiet month.
It's a quiet month for her.
Treasurer's report.
I'll make a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
I'll second.
The motion is made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say aye. No opposed. Board comments?
I do have one. I see where the county, which we have talked about it here, with the county thinking about opening up the county roads, the county highways to ATV, UTV traffic. And on the February 27th board meeting, county board meeting at 6 o'clock, that will be on their agenda. So we will know after that meeting what the county has decided.
All right. Anything else? No correspondence. Do we have any committee reports?
I just have an addition, we have the paperwork that we need to copy to send out to the short-term rental owner operators. Am I missing something?
No, I
Okay.
don't think so.
So we got some volunteers that are gonna help us get the copies run off, put them in envelopes, and talk to Janice, really nice to write us a check for postage. And we have a cover letter for you to sign,
Okay,
so it's official.
all right. I'll try it. All right, anything else?
Parks and Lands didn't meet this month, and the only thing that we have correspondence between us about is on the agenda.
All right. Anything else? Sanitary district?
Yeah. I'm Mark Ellers, I'm the president of the sanitary district. We're fighting our new permit. So I'm sending a letter off to the Secretary of the Department of Natural Resources. I can read all this stuff, it's all technical. But the important thing is, given the fact that there is no apparent degradation to the receiving water for the past 30-plus years of operation of the Town of Bell Sanitary District Number 1, we are requesting that our current effluent limits of 45 milligrams per liter weekly average and 30 milligrams per liter monthly average for both BOD, basic oxygen demand, and TSS's total suspended solids remain in our new permit, and the final effluent limits will be deleted from our new permit along with proposed compliance schedule requirements. What happened was they sent some more inspectors down the line that we discharge on. And they did that for everyone that discharges water. Okay? So it wasn't just us. And they determined that we're having problem with the basic oxygen demand and our total suspended solids. So we met with the DNR guy and our engineer in my office here, about 2 weeks ago, and told them that the reason we have this problem is all the holding tanks we're dumping into there. We haven't had a problem with any of these things prior to all the holding tanks going in there. So we're hoping we're going to have a schedule a meeting with the department, and we're asking them to basically just go back to the way it was. Because once I get this this new plan up, God knows when that'll happen. But when that does happen, we will be back to the way it operated for the first 30 years. So we won't have this problem. And for us to have to remediate these ponds from now on is going to be very costly and may even result in us not being able to use these ponds in the future. So it's a big deal. So I CC'd everybody on this. I talked to the planning commission, and I'm also gonna provide the town board this letter. So we're hoping that we can have a hearing on this. Because once we get that other plan up, we won't have this problem at all. But in the meantime, they want us to treat everything. So we're gonna try to fight it to the best we can.
Thank you.
You bet.
Public comment period? Yes.
I'd like to thank you, Matt, for putting the topic of emergency preparedness on the agenda. And comment that the group has been working on developing an emergency action plan for 3-4 years. And Megan Quarter's predecessor actually encouraged each town to develop such a plan. We did work out a plan in the form of an ordinance, and the ordinance was adopted by the board, but it was never signed. We did accomplish quite a bit. We had numerous neighborhood meetings regarding preparedness. We distributed a significant amount of related information and so on. But perhaps it was a good thing and fortuitous that it was not signed, because we have learned since that we made some mistakes. And we need to do a significant review and subsequent modification with input from the existing EMS and so forth. Megan has suggested that for us to be most effective, we need to have a current town board member on our team. So I requested, and I do request, that you recognize our team and assign a board member, and let us go to work on improving the plan and submitting it to you for your review and hopeful adoption. Thank you.
Thank you. Public comments? Any public comments?
No.
All right, moving on. All right, old business, we have the town financial audit. Mark, is there anything to update?
Yes, I talked to a township, I think it was Brill, and they had hired Clifton Larson Allen out of Eau Claire to do their audit, and they were very dissatisfied.
Oh.
Because they were on my list that I have contacted, so I'm back to square one. Because they're the ones that are working with the nursing home as well as Big Top and Ashford Bay now. But that's a different branch, that's a nonprofit branch, not a municipality branch, so. I was surprised they were disappointed because I've heard they do good work, and they have done good work for the nursing home and the Big Top and Ashford Bay. So I was surprised, but anyway, so I'm kind of back to square one.
Okay,
But at
thank you.
least someone's returning my phone call.
Yeah, that's always.
Can you ask them to provide maybe a list of other clients they have, and maybe you'll find that was just a one-off, that Rule didn't like him, everybody else loves him? Is that possible?
I don't think they'll provide that list to them. But yeah, Paul, I'm gonna still keep looking.
Because not everybody likes me as hard as that is.
I really firmly reiterate that the town board could be trained to do an internal audit. If the will is there, I'll be willing to assist in the planning of it. And I have a hunch it'll be more thorough than having a CPA firm do the audit. But that's up to you guys. It'll probably require half a day of a select number of board members and definitely Mary Beth and the treasurer to be there. But other municipalities have done that, are doing that right now, so.
Does that satisfy legal requirements or?
It's certainly not, it's not a professional audit, but it should give you some assurance as a board that everything is being handled the way it should be. So it's more for you than for an external person.
You just want to have an opinion issued on it.
No, you can't have, I can't do an opinion. You know, and I've done this at the Emmanuel Lutheran Church for years, not the last couple of years, but previously. We sat down with the officers and we tested various items on their financial statements and found almost no errors ever, but it gave everyone assurance that everything was going as planned. And it also did identify some things that they needed to do, like 1099s and W-2s, things like that, which they're doing today. So,
All right, well, I guess maybe next month we'll make another decision on that, because if we're gonna do something, we wanna get something done before spring, so I don't know if you wanna keep looking into it for another month.
oh, sure, I don't mind.
If there's nothing of it, if there ends up being nothing, then we'll have to do our own, but
Well, there probably is, but I'm thinking it's gonna cost really a lot of money.
well, it's understandable, being that it's never been done either, it's kind of understandable that we're gonna have to pay some money to get it done. It seems like it'd be nice to do one, have somebody else outside do one, and then in the future, do our own maybe.
Yeah, that would work out the best.
So, I don't know, so if we can look into it a little bit more before we decide to take it on ourselves, is
Okay.
everybody okay with that?
Good thinking.
Okay. All right, thanks, Mark.
You bet.
All right, town website reconstruction, Paul, what do you have on that?
John Anderson and I had 6 meetings with 6 possible providers. They looked at our website, they saw what we had, and we had talks about what we needed. And we asked them to submit bids by March 1st. And we've got 3 bids already, we're waiting for 2 more. One company said they'd be over $10,000, and the 3 bids we already have were under 5, and so I said, well, I don't wanna waste your time, but I don't think, we'll be able to go with that one. So they understood. So they dropped out. So we're still waiting for 2 more bids. When I get those bids, I will send them to the board with some explanations, a little bit of explanation about, so you guys have plenty of time to look at them. And I'm hoping that on the next board meeting, we can make a decision. It'll take 2 to 3 months to transition over. Our domain is up in April, so it'd be nice to have it kind of done by then, but it may not get done, but that shouldn't be a problem. And then I think after we decide on who we want to build our site, we'll have a town meeting for interested people talking about layout, how they'd like it to look, what features they'd like to have on it, and things like that. But John and I thought for the initial, just get these quotes, send them to the board. If you want John and I to make a recommendation to the board, we certainly could. But I'm gonna do that next month. And if anybody has any questions, I'll be glad to answer them as best I can. Yes, Doug?
Just that when you do choose a vendor, please maybe have an instructional for maybe
Oh, yes.
committee secretaries, how to access and enter information.
Yeah, the whole goal is simplification and ease of moving around within it. Yeah, yep. And then we will have lots of, for planning, lots of sessions to help people navigate it. Yep, thank you.
All right, thanks, Paul. Town Emergency Preparedness Committee. I guess, did the board appoint the committee in the first place, or do you remember what happened there?
I remember something about it. I just- Yeah,
We're looking at each other and we're looking at Roger.
well, I mean,
As far as I know, we did, but
yeah, I think we did, but
Yeah, the board supported it,
Yeah.
the committee,
yeah,
but we never had a supervisor working with the committee.
But
I think it was
You know,
mostly volunteer.
by all rights, if it was never approved, like if the board never told you or appointed a committee, then the board should do that, especially if there's gonna be a supervisor working on it. But if you think you did that, then whatever, that's fine.
well, it probably would be a good idea to do it and document it.
Okay, if you're not sure, then we can do that.
Yeah, I would appreciate that.
All right, well, what does everybody think about that? Should we just appoint the committee that's already there to look into this ordinance?
Yeah.
I
Review?
think that would be the simplest.
Is there a
Who's all on that committee?
Well, it was led by Harry.
By Harry.
passed away.
Right.
And so, let's see who's on the committee. John Higney, Owen Lifka,
Yvette?
Marie Burson, Yvette Fleming. That's about where it ended, right, with those people.
Okay. So we'll just appoint them, is that what you're saying?
We don't have to appoint members, we can just, form the committee and then have Gordy be the supervisor in charge of it.
Sure.
So if we just wanna make a motion to form the committee,
I so move.
I'll second that.
all right, the motion is made and seconded, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say aye, there's no opposed, so then Gordy, you can,
I'll be the liaison. Yeah, okay. Yeah,
all right,
that works.
Jackie and Jessica.
all right, was there anything else on that, Gordy? No?
No.
Okay.
We'll have to revisit the ordinance that wasn't signed, and
Yeah, oh, that's right, yeah, it hasn't been signed,
Roger
so,
brought that up.
yeah, that's right, so we will. have to-
Yeah, so then when you get something, wherever you're at with that, you just wanna send it to the whole board?
Yep.
And then
I will.
for review. Thank you. All right, Lost Creek Adventures, use of town land, airstrip area. What do we have on that?
Hey, everybody.
So we had a sea kayak symposium last year. Same weekend as the fly-in, and this week we moved it a week later, so we're not with Superior Vistas bike tour and everything. And it went really well. It was really small. I don't know if anybody was there to see it, but there was about 7 or 8 registered participants, and then there's maybe 15 people total with instructors. And but we still gathered enough money to give $1,500 to the Access for All campaign for the park to build a accessible ramp down to Myers Beach. And so we're continuing that theme this year. We're Mount Asheville Bay is the donation recipient. And we don't know how much it's going to be yet until we get participants, but we already have more than double the participants registered, so it's looking good. And I'm here today just to discuss, and there's a possible decision, I guess, on the agenda as well, as far as being able to primitive camp for some people at the airport in the same areas that the fly-in people camp when they're there. And so I just have 3 printouts, but I made a Google Earth highlight of the area where there's that little shed with the bikes in it, and then the airstrip. And so I spoke with Tim Casino, and he's okay with it, obviously, as long as the airport can stay open and safe. So yeah, I'll just leave it at that. If there's questions, just to see what thoughts might be around that.
Well, I did talk to Tim about it, and he does like the idea. He thinks it'd be good PR for the airport to get more people interested in what's happening up there and possibly helping up there too. But anyway, my first question was about insurance.
Mhm.
If the town would insure it because it's on town property, and he wanted the same thing. So does anybody have an answer for that question?
We have the town named as additionally insured through the
Oh.
insurance that we're using.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we just,
We
yeah,
said that last year when we have it down here.
yeah, it's through the American Canoe Association, actually. They're sponsoring the event, and they have the insurance.
Question answered. He also said they will come up with a safety plan, and the safety plan would be either Tim or Jeff Russell have the ability to post he called it a TOTAMS, TOTAMS, and I don't know what the acronym is for, but that's for the people that do put out a warning to the pilots that there's another event going on there. And he said they would be, you guys would be camping off to the side, like in the parking area. And there was also parking areas along the runway that would be safe enough to
Yeah,
be in.
yeah. The fly-in is the 15th and 16th, I believe. And
Yes, it is.
so we were thinking we can go there, help get the site ready, and then see how they have it laid out with the planes and
Yeah.
people camping there
That would be
already, and then
wonderful.
see how it worked out, and then do the same kind of arrangement.
And this totems warning, they can post at any time, and they can also shut the airstrip down. Like if too many people are there, they can communicate with, and they can just shut it down in a moment's notice if necessary. But he doesn't feel that's going to happen. If they come up with a good safety plan about keeping kids and dogs off the runway, and when you're walking back to anywhere, just stay alongside and be ready to bolt when someone wants to land.
Yeah, it is public now.
Mhm. So that's what I got for a report on
So are you in charge of the whole deal? The whole
There-
event?
There's 3 of us.
Okay, so you're gonna be in charge of making sure everything is where it's supposed to be and police straight and whatever?
Yeah, we were trying to think about like flagging maybe on the ground, so there's no posts per se, but just where people can't go beyond.
it. Oh,
There's that huge fire pit on the other side, but I was thinking maybe not having people walk across to get to that site, stay on the roadside.
Yeah, and I'm sure Tim and Jeff Russell would be willing to help you also.
Yeah, and we can help them too. I think it'd be fun.
And this was for how long?
It would be for 3 days. Let's see, there's basically maybe 3 nights. People showed up early.
So like a Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday, that
Mhm.
kind of.
Do you know the dates?
It's June. The symposium is June 28th through the 30th.
Okay. But I guess just if we're gonna consider something specifically, we'd have to have the specific dates.
Mhm.
So as long as you have that, because that's when we would be approving or not approving that specific date or dates.
28th through the 30th, right?
So the night of the 27th, maybe if people came early, but otherwise, yeah.
Okay. Got any more questions for Greg?
No, I don't.
I think you answered them.
And Jesse answered some of them with being in touch with Tim.
All right, so,
Motion?
well, I mean, yeah, if there's no discussion, whatever your motion is gonna be, I'd like to see something in there about this kind of being a trial thing, to make sure everything goes right, everything's picked up and clean, and, we're trying it right now, and then maybe it can happen again later. I mean, for other people, whatever, but just make sure everything is done right, safe, clean.
Well, I think any use of the facility or the airport needs to come before the board, period.
Yeah.
So every time.
Well, sure it does, but I want that to be clear that's part of it, this is where we are setting a precedent here.
Mhm.
So the next person that comes in, well, you let him do it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yes, but there were stipulations that said it needs to be clean and safe and so on and so forth, so.
We won't post it as an annual. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll start there.
May I make a comment quick?
Yeah.
What, or is the porta potty that's there gonna be adequate?
I think we would just follow the county's recommendation for number of people. So if we had, I think it's 2 per every 25 people that you need. I'll have to look it up, but we'll have them brought in.
Well, I move we let the town airstrip be used for this, I'm not sure what we call it, a
Sea
symposium,
kayak symposium.
kayak symposium on for this year only, and be on the dates of June 28th, 29th, and 30th, and maybe a few people on the 27th. So 27th, 28th, 29th, and 30th.
I will second.
All right, the motion is made and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say aye. There's no opposed.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you, Greg.
as long as the airport guys are on board, I'm with me.
Who made the motion again?
Oh, well,
Paul.
believe me.
Jesse seconded.
All right, shelter over the Liberty, Paul.
Yeah, so just a little background, a few people in town would like to try to preserve the Liberty. The other fishing boats are in really bad shape. We might put a little bit of something over the roof, rubber or gold roofing or something to slow the decay down. But the Liberty is in good shape and it's up against a bunch of trees. And so the thinking is that if we can build a shelter over the Liberty, it won't be obstructing the view of the lake very much because the trees are already there. And the Parks and Lands agreed that it was probably worth saving. So we went to the zoning department to get a building permit. And it turns out that not only would our shelter be in the right of way for Siskiyou Bay Parkway, but the Liberty itself is in the right of way of Cisco Bay Parkway. And so they denied our building permit. And so we have two options. One is to appeal that, and that would we'd have to pay a $550 surcharge and then fill out more paperwork, which I can fill out the paperwork, but we need board authorization to spend that money. And then we would go to the appeals and see what happens. They may or may not grant the variance. The other possibility is for the town to abandon a section of Cisco Bay Parkway before and after the vote. And then there'd be no right-of-way problems or the 30-foot setback would not apply. And I think there's some ramifications there to the town, though, about losing. It's, not a lot of feet. I think we get reimbursed per mile. And so we would lose maybe 2 to 300ths of a mile by having like 30 feet before the boat, and the boat's about 60 feet, and about another 30 feet. I can't do the math in my head, but it'd be about 120 feet we'd have to abandon. It wouldn't change one thing. People can still drive through. The town can still plow it. It's just we'd have to take it off, I think, the rolls of the town forever. And again, I have no idea what that would cost the town. I have no idea how we get reimbursed per mile. So that idea came from the zoning department themselves. And then Jesse and I went to the Ashland and Bayfield County Towns Association meeting that they hold in Muckwa. And I talked to some people there, and that idea was suggested to us at that meeting too by those people, was to abandon a small section of Cisco Bay Parkway. I guess my preference would be to pay the $550 and see if the zoning people will be reasonable. Because we're not going to build anything closer to the road. But who knows how that'll go.
You're not building anything.
Well, we have to put some posts in the ground, and then we would have a roof.
Yeah, I guess it is.
Yeah.
You'd have to get permit for that.
Yeah, and the other thing we were thinking about is just putting a roof and setting it on top of the Liberty without the posts. But I still think we need a building permit for that. I still think we'd have to get a variance even for that.
Need a skyhook.
Oh, we got a crane down there, that's no
Yeah,
problem.
there we go.
But anyway, so that's where that is at. There is money in the Save the Boats Fund that we could use to go through the appeals process. And so I guess I'll move that the town authorize the expenditure of $550 and authorize me to fill out the paperwork to appeal the zoning decision.
I'll second that, but I have a question.
Okay, the motion is made and seconded. Is there any more discussion?
I think I know the answer to this, but is that refundable at $550?
Oh, no.
No. It is a fee, and it is not,
Right.
if they turn it down, they keep it.
Yeah, oh, you bet.
That's what I thought.
It's a donation.
It's a donation.
So do we know how much we get per mile?
I want to say it was $2,300 to $2,500 a mile.
So,
Well, I've got a comment to make on it, because I was okay when you said something about appealing it or whatever. And also when you said something about the fact that you'd be abandoning part of the road. And I was okay with that till I heard the words forever.
There is no forever.
No.
Technically, even when with town roads, if it's been maintained by the town for more than 10 years, it automatically becomes a town road. So I'm thinking technically after a certain amount of time, that would just be a town road again.
I no longer have the reservations.
So we'd only lose
I mean, that's what
three
the-
hundredths of $2,500 for 10 years?
Well, potentially. I mean, I don't know how technically they're gonna get about putting that back on the gas tax deal, but that's what the state statutes is. If the town's been maintaining it for more than 10 years, it automatically becomes a town road. So eventually it's gonna be a town road again, I believe. So,
So if I use $2,500 times, I think 0.03 is generous, I don't think it's that much. That'd be $75 a year for 10 years.
about $750.
$750 the town would lose versus $550 that I'm gonna lose for sure.
Probably lose both of them, but
Probably will lose both. We can put it down, I just made a motion to get the conversation done. Cause I have no idea what it would entail to abandon 120 feet of a road. I don't know how that works, but that's beyond my pay grade, I know that. I can barely deal with the county when I walk in the building without, I say the starting prayer about 100 times as I'm walking towards the office.
The jail is so close by.
Yeah, the tail is too close for comfort, that's right.
So I guess we could start with one, and if it doesn't work, we need to have a backup.
Sure.
Backup plan.
I mean, start with this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and if they turn it down, we still have that option of abandonment. So,
so is there any more discussion? All right, the motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say aye. There's no opposed. So you're gonna take care of the paperwork and everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'll need a check to the Baker County Planning and Zoning for $550.
All right. All right, that's it for the agenda. Is there any more public comments? Yes.
Got one. And it pertains to the last discussion. What's the possibility of taking one of the decayed boats out of there and putting a livered in that place? Like, for example, take the Ruby out, it's falling apart place anyway.
Well, then we put the shelter and it would really block the skyline. I guess the sentiment was because those trees are there, anything we build is gonna have minimal disruption of the view of the lake and the skyline, Penny. You know,
It's not only that, but I think once you got far enough away from the right of way to build it, you'd be too close to the lake.
Yeah.
yeah, the Ruby is not too close to the lake. We checked that.
Well, right, but if the setback is like 75 feet from the town road though. There's a setback from the town road. So by the time you got there, you're getting closer to the lake.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
Yeah.
yes.
On the same topic, is it possible for this town to modify the setback limits on its own road?
No.
Yeah, I kind of was hoping, Roger, that since it's a town road and it's surrounded by town property and it's a town boat, that the county would, we'd have some sovereignty, for lack of a better word. And I even talked to Larry Fickbon,
Yeah.
and he said, you know, those people, they don't interpret the rules. They have to follow the rules. And
Yeah, but it's
I
a
said, yeah, I said, I have no
statute.
problem with how I was treated. I just was hoping, beyond hope, that maybe there was a little caveat in there that they weren't aware of.
I thought the town would have some sovereignty.
No, we don't. And that was what the people at the town association told me too. They said, no, you don't have a chance. So we don't know what the board with this appeals process will do or when that is, but I'll get that paperwork going and we'll get the check as soon as we can and we'll get on that.
You have to prove a hardship. Is it the Board of Adjustment?
Yeah.
So they, I mean, if they choose to, they'll just grant a variance, correct?
Right. Yeah, they can do it, yeah. They can give us a variance if they wanted to. If they don't want to, they won't.
All right, any more public comment?
How long has the Liberty been there? Does anybody recall when that was moved there?
That'd be almost 20 years.
Been a while.
I remember it being moved in.
Wasn't
I mean,
it,
the only reason I bring it up is, you know, it's been there, there's been no disruption with the road. You know, would that be an argument towards getting the variance approved?
Well, my argument was that whatever we build is gonna be no closer to the road than the boat already is.
So basically, it was a violation from day one.
well, no, because it's just a boat sitting there. It wasn't a building. So,
So nobody said anything.
well, no, I mean, you can have a boat sitting alongside the road, just can't build.
It's a permanent, it's not a permanent.
It's not permanent.
Yeah.
Waiting for the
It's only
tide,
been there 20 years. It's not permanent.
waiting for the tide to come in.
Well, and that's why when, we had a conversation with the Parks and Land with Doug, you know, about maybe raising the Swenson Pavilion and
Yeah,
sliding the
that's-
boat under
that's
there and
not
then
gonna
building another pavilion, we'd have to do the same thing. Again, to build a pavilion on the other side of the road, we'd be right back where we are. So we're not gonna win this one.
At least put the low ground in the water, it looked
It went slower.
Yeah,
All right, anything else? All right, thank you. We're going to adjourn now.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll say.
Motion is made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say aye. There's no opposed.
I just want to I really think,
That's what I'm on.
okay,
It should have been funny.
Mark just handed me his notes to. Yes. I will give it to Will, yes. And thank you, Mark. And,
Matt's got copies of the minutes.
Well, if we moved it towards the lake, it's like, yeah, if we moved it somewhere else, we But then wherever we move it, we're gonna have to build a.
So that's what happens when you don't have a holding tank based on the
I did bring that.
Oh, they could go to actually.
Well, I mean, like, no, if we move it towards Highway 13.
Okay, all right.
we- we
And I will
move it